Hey, it's Lori Alvarez. And I was contemplating today, right? Do you care what other people say? Are you interested when you're making a decision and you're moving yourself forward? Do you care about what other people say in your decision making process? I was thinking about that like every day. I kind of contemplate um, a new thought, a new way of thinking. And one of the things that I'm very, very, very adamant when I tell my team, when I'm coaching my team, when I'm helping my team, um, I just say, hey, like you need to ask better questions, right? And so this question was just sitting on my heart. And I'm thinking, gosh, does it matter to me what other people are saying when I make a decision to move forward in something? Does that really matter to me? Do I take it into consideration? So it made me sit down and it made me journal and kind of reflect on who I am and how I decide the things that I decide, right? The moments that I take me forward, my family forward, my business forward, and the things that I choose to do. Who has a great impact on that for me? Who who helps me make those decisions? So, this is what I came up with, right? Um, as I came up with, how do I personally make a decision to move forward in some type of action? Because guess what? Today, my hubby and I will buy our second investment property, right? And I was like so excited. And I'm a typical buyer. Typical buyer. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm scared to death now today. Because today I have to wire the funds and Tuesday it closes in our name. And it's really our house. And I was like, well, how did I process that, Lori? How did I come through that process to decide during a pandemic to purchase a rental property? When the world is like saying all these crazy things like, oh, tenants aren't paying rent and the market's going to crash. And the world is just saying all this crazy stuff. So, like today, I was like, whoo, I don't know. The lender wants my money. I got to move to close. Do I really want to do this? Oh my goodness. Right. And so I really was glad, thankful, and grateful that this question came up to me yesterday because it did. Someone had sent me a text message and said, Lori, what do you think about this? How do you think this is going? And I gave my true feedback and I said, like, you just need to ask better questions. Right. And in that process, this was the question. This was the question that I came up with, right? The question that I contemplated today, that I said to you all, right, is how important are other people's opinions when you're deciding on something? How important is it? How do you make your decisions with regards to people? I mean, I deal with this day in and day out with my real estate clientele, right? They'll come to me and be like, I'm so excited to buy a house. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Aunt Susie said this, this, and this. So should I do that? Or they said, Uncle Jerry said this, this, and this. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should. Or, my neighbor down the street, well, they just told me this, this, and this. I don't know. Right. And then I've got to help my clients process all the crazy things going on in their brain. Like literally, like, oh my gosh, how does this happen? How did we get here? We'd already been through this. And this is what you do. You just go over and over and over and over again, right? You just do it over and over and over again. You make decisions and you process them through your head until you finish. Until you finish. And you'll second guess and you'll second guess and you'll second guess. And you're going to talk to a bunch of people in the process. So, how does that impact you? Okay, so this is what Lori does when she makes a decision. Like literally, okay? And I have a family of 7. that helps me make decisions, right? I have a husband and I have 5 kids. All of them are part of my process in making my decisions. All of them, every decision I make, I incorporate them into the process. This is how I incorporate them. Crazy, right? This is what I do. I just go. Like someone says, Lori, should you do this, this, and this? I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Go. That's what I do. And then I look back. Oh, yeah, I got 7 other people to consider in this decision, right? Like, whew, okay, I got 7 other people to consider in this position. So then I go, okay, well, what do they think? How do they feel about it? What is their answer in all of this, right? And I hear them. And they're either like, yeah, 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 mom, that's great. Yes, wife, let's do it. Or they're like, no, 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 I don't think so. Right. And then I'm like, oh, but I want you to do what I want to do. Like, that's just the way the world works, right? Like, you're supposed to do it like me. You're supposed to want to do it like me. And they don't because they're different people with different personalities and they process it differently and they do life differently and they come from different experiences. And I go, oh, okay, fair enough. That was a good point. I appreciate that. Right. And then next is the naysayers, right? For me, it's the naysayers. Those people, right? Like I hear them and whoo, do I want to rebel against anyone who tells me no. I've been that way my entire life. You say no, I'm like, now I'm adamant to go. Adamant. I'm gonna do this, irregardless of your no. But I do hear you. I do contemplate what you say. I do even consider it. And then I say, why are you saying no? Give me a good reason for that no. And I process who they are, where they are, how I believe they are, right? And then I either say, yeah, I'm in agreement with you, or I disqualify them, right? Because they don't align with my core values. I love that when my business coach told me that once. She said, Lori, that doesn't align with who you are as a person, your core values. So eliminate it. It doesn't align with your core values. So what are your core values? I know mine. So thankful for mine. And that's a whole nother conversation. We can do it another time. And if you need help with figuring out what your core values are, well, just let me know. I'd be glad to show you the way I process it and got to where mine are and who I am today. Right. So like I said, I hear from the naysayers. I talk to the family, right? I just go, to be completely honest, and then I have to step back and be like, "Woo, okay. I went and maybe I left a bunch of people behind, and so now I need to figure out if they're coming along with me," right? And then I find someone who has done it. Yeah, I do. I find someone who has done it, right? And they've done it well. And I find the people who've done it that align with my core values of who I am, what I am, where I am, and where I want to go. And I go, do I like them? Are they going the direction I want to go? Are they doing the things that I want to do? And if I love it, then I'm like, yes, I'm following them. I don't I don't create anything from nothing. That's to be honest. Like everything that I do is just because someone said something great that stimulated me to ponder it more. Someone said something fantastic that made me say, yes, I'm going to do that. That's how I do my life. I don't look for anything to create from nothing. I don't believe personally right now in my life that that's who or where I am, right? Who knows? Maybe next week it's a different story. Maybe I'll come up with a brand new idea and no one will have ever done it. And if I truly believe that, like, even that brand new idea that no one else has done it came from just me all by myself, well, there's probably something wrong with me, and it's called an ego. So I'm just going to say everything in my life has impacted me for where I am. Everything. And then, and then I finish it. I finish what I started. And it's still a process right now. It is totally a process. And it never goes the way that I anticipate it to go. It never happens the way I anticipated it to happen. And it never finishes the way I want it to finish. Because there's so many things that impact it, right? There's so many things in life that come through and work their way through it. One of those things is God for me. Like, he impacts me every day, right? Like, I'm like, oh, goodness gracious, Lord, help me. Oh, goodness gracious, why did I do this? How did I get here? When did this happen? And I measure all my decisions against him and his core values because they align with mine. It's just what I do. It's how I come to my decisions. So I guess to get back to the question I asked is, do I care what other people say? Of course. Of course I do. And I'm thankful and grateful every time someone speaks into my life, irregardless of what it is you're saying. Because there's a nugget in there for me to grow from. So what about you? I'm Lori Alvarez. And when you're buying or selling or investing in real estate, everyone's going to speak into your life. I'm just saying. So have someone who's willing to process those thoughts with you. Someone who's willing to work through all of that with you to get you where you want to go. Thanks again. I'm Lori Alvarez. Comment down below. I want to hear what you have to say. Or just call me. It's even better. 909-227-4196. Lori Alvarez.